Celtics fans, if you want Celtics news and Celtics rumors, you have come to the right place. Go down, hit that big red subscribe button, and help us get to 12,000 subs. Welcome into Celtics Today. I am Will Scott. We're going to be talking about some Celtics news, some Celtics rumors on today's show. And we've said time and time again that the Celtics need a backup center. Perhaps Dwight Howard can be that guy because both Fansided and Bleacher Report chimed in, saying that the Celtics should bring Howard to Boston. Here is something from that Fanside article. Keeping that in mind and keeping expectations low, he would be a perfect fit for the Celtics as a low-risk, medium-reward acquisition. As the roster currently stands, there's a lot of pressure on Al Horford and Robert Williams to log heavy minutes. Howard doesn't have the same burst, but he would still thrive as a shot blocker and rim protector for the Celtics. He's one of the best defensive players in NBA history, and nabbing even a shell of a player he used to be would be beneficial. The Celtics, meanwhile, are the best defensive team in the NBA, and it makes sense to acquire a center who adds to that, maybe rather than signing a guy like DeMarcus Cousins that would detract from the Celtics' defensive presence. Do you want to sign Dwight Howard? Go down, chime in down in the comments section. Type S for sign or type P for pass. It's the pinned comment on today's video. Go and reply to it when you get a second. Here's what he did last season, 60 games played, returning to the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, he won a championship there a few years back. 6.2 points per game, 5.9 rebounds per game. What's really surprising about Dwight's game now is that he's developed into a pretty good three-point shooter, 53% from deep. He certainly improved as a shooter. Also as a free throw shooter as well, 65.5% from the line last season. He still remained a productive player, a guy that can come off the bench and get you decent minutes the last couple years. He just played 9 games with Washington, 2018 to 2019 season. But the last couple years in LA and Philadelphia, he has looked decent. Now, there might be better options out there. You talk about LaMarcus Aldridge, Hassan Whiteside. I really want to bring Whiteside to Boston, but I would not mind bringing Dwight in. He's played well the last couple seasons in Philadelphia and Los Angeles. He is a very good backup center, a reliable option off the bench. And I think Fansided made a good point. He's very, very good defensively. That's what the C's are all about. Here are the teams that have been linked to Dwight Howard throughout NBA free agency, and all of these teams are contenders. So the Celtics, the Warriors, the Sixers, and the Clippers have all been linked to Howard. Obviously, the Warriors brought back Looney, but maybe they would still want to add the veteran big man. Philadelphia, he has ties there because he played for Doc Rivers 2 seasons ago. And then the Los Angeles Clippers, another team that has been linked to Dwight. So if he goes to one of these teams, where do you think he will sign? Type BOS for Celtics, type PHI for the Sixers, type GSW for the Warriors, or type LAC for the Los Angeles Clippers. Let's talk about another veteran that played for the Lakers last year. That's Carmelo Anthony. Could the Celtics look to bring Melo in? I think he has plenty of gas left in the tank. I think that this would be a really solid pickup for the Celtics. And we heard Ime Udoka at the Summer League last week, and this is right after Brad Stevens pretty much said the same thing, that they still need to add a shooter off the bench. Maybe Carmelo can be that guy, and he looked pretty decent last year in LA. Here is what Sports Illustrated said about bringing Melo in. The Celtics are a young team, but veterans matter in the playoffs, as seen by what Al Horford has been able to do. And Anthony would be the perfect player to come off the bench in a reserve role. His shooting on the perimeter, 37.5%, would be huge for the Celtics when one of Brown or Tatum is off the floor. In addition, when they would be playing with Anthony, he could help space the floor for the two-star forwards. Anthony has never made the finals, and the Celtics are in the finals, just made the finals, so it would also be a team that would make sense for the future first ballot Hall of Famer. Here is what he did last season with the Lake Show. 13.3 points per game, shot 37.5% from three, 69 games played, was really solid for a Lakers team that struggled. He was a bright spot on that team, though. I think he has plenty of gas left in the tank. I think he can come in, help the Celtics team. And look, I don't really know how realistic him going back to LA is, but I do know this about Carmelo Anthony. How badly he wants to win a ring. He can do that in Boston. Boston needs a wing, and they need a cheap wing, right? Because of the salary cap situation right now. He would play on the vet minimum, so you'd bring him in, cheap, team-friendly deal, one-year deal probably. He can contribute off the bench for the Celtics. I really, really like the idea of bringing Carmelo Anthony in. You look at what he is as a three-point shooter. I think the Celtics still need a little bit more of that. Yes, they traded for Malcolm Brogdon, but I still think shooting depth is needed on the Celtics team. We've heard Brad Stevens, we've heard Ime Udoka say that they still expect to bring in a wing. When you look at the G League options, I don't know how much sense maybe Matt Ryan makes right now in terms of being a full-time member of this team. Carmelo Anthony, though, I think makes a lot of sense. Go down in the comments section. Let me know if you want to bring Carmelo Anthony to Boston. Let's talk about our next story here, and that is LeBron James really going out of his way to defend Jayson Tatum. Obviously, Tatum has been the subject of a lot of criticism, a lot of blame for the Celtics' Game 6 loss going toward him. Not just Game 6, but really the NBA Finals in general. A lot of people blaming Tatum for that loss. And so LeBron addressed that. He said this on his HBO show, The Shop. Listen, usually the people that say in the bleep is the ones that never walked in the arena. Theodore Roosevelt, the man in the arena, talks about it. Man, it's so easy to bleep on people when they've never raised you, their blood pressure level, their heart rate above a 60, and they out here telling you what you should do, how you should kick, how you should do this role, how you should paint. Interesting LeBron quote right there. It's like Jayson Tatum is a beast. He didn't play to the standards. Like, man, he had a hell of a season, and them guys ain't even 25 yet. He'll be back. He's got nothing to hang his hat on. He played against the same team my first finals. I played against the Spurs. Here's LeBron comparing that Spurs team to this Warriors team. It's the same bleep. They took advantage of me not knowing much. That's what LeBron James saying about the Tatum criticism. And the Tatum criticism is somewhat warranted. I mean, he did struggle in the NBA Finals, 21.5 points per game, shot just 36% from the floor. But really the stat that stands out right here, 3.8 turnovers per game. Tatum did not look himself in his first NBA Finals. But I think LeBron is right. I think Tatum is going to bounce back and bounce back in a big way. And this Celtics team expects to be right back in the NBA Finals next season. LeBron, he did not win his first NBA Finals. Let's keep that in mind. It's not easy when you're going into your first finals and you got to go up against a dynasty that is the Golden State Warriors, the pressure that comes with that when you're Tatum and when you're a young player. So LeBron is right. Tatum will bounce back from this. He will get better. And when I was talking on my first show here at Celtics Day about a perfect offseason plan, not only did I mention adding some depth down low, they did that with Gallinari. I also mentioned trading for Malcolm Brogdon, but I also mentioned that Tatum needs to take the next step. I think he will. LeBron agrees. Now, if you support Tatum, go down and type JT down in the chat. I want to see the chat spammed with JT. Go show your love for Jayson Tatum down in the comments section.